What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Jon Mark, and more from his Land of Merlin album, 1990. I've been enjoying this album both for the ambient sonic atmospheres that are very powerful and moving and almost cinematic, but also for the way that Jon Mark's albums, at least those that I have, all seem to follow this concept where they pursue a historical, or in this case mythological, subject and find different sonic angles on it and so on. So it's nice to reconnect, and we're going to continue through the album with Perilous and Mystical Journey. Now, we've heard tracks already about the young Arthur growing up in Cornwall, which, as people have talked about before, is actually where Jon Mark is from. So, this is, I think, a perhaps lifelong interest in this historical slash mythological tale. Ultimately, we've heard tracks that relate to Merlin, so I'm not sure whether this is both Merlin and Arthur. That would be my expectation, but the idea of people in the Arthurian legend taking a perilous and mystical journey, I imagine Jon will have a lot to say about this sonically, so let's hear it. This is from the 1990 Land of Merlin album by Jon Mark, Perilous and Mystical Journey. sounds like multiple days and nights are passing. Wow. So, certainly a journey that was very mystical. It didn't feel as perilous, maybe, as I expected, though those, what I was regarding as night sections with the wind and seemingly an owl or at least a bird sound, those did feel a bit more uncertain, to say the least. But yes, I wonder if that's traveling by boat. The bell, that tone, it made me feel like we were maybe on a boat heading through foggy seas, and again, at night, that can be even more disconcerting or unclear as to what awaits you out in that dark. But even if you're traveling by foot or by horse or across land more generally, again, nighttime in pre-industrial times is a less clear and well lit experience, and when we're talking about mythological times, there are perhaps magical beings or spirits that one might need to be wary of, if not fear. So yeah, I suppose the perilous does come through a bit. I just felt like it might have a bit more of intensity to it. Not that any of Jon's ambient work that I've heard is bombastic in an intense way, but just it felt like there was a degree of uncertainty which very much fits with the mystical element of it, but it felt more measured and more careful, I suppose. Nevertheless, the daytime or indeed morning sections, as my brain was hearing them, they had a scope to them, they had a beauty to them, certainly. And yes, definitely one that felt less halcyon compared to, or halcyonic compared to The Child Grows, for example, one of the earlier tunes, and it felt like this is more of a important phase in adult Arthur's life, and again with perhaps the guidance of Merlin in tow. So yeah, ultimately I think one of the great things about electronic music more generally is that it is in many respects interpretational, certainly more so than when the lyrics in a song clearly spell out particular events or scenes or people. Even then, people extrapolate that and connect it to things in their own life and their own understandings. But with a piece of ambient art, I think your brain is more free to see the story that is coming to your own mind, the own vision that you construct. But yeah, again, a multi-day journey, one filled with uncertainty, but also magical qualities. So yeah, looking forward to the remainder of the album. We're definitely getting into the latter stages now. There's 4 tunes left. The next track is the King, Queen, and Castle. So the monarchical aspect of this mythology, which, again, I said earlier, historical, mythological. I don't mean to suggest that King Arthur was a real king. There are many theories and speculations about what might have served as a template, but this is a legend, mythological cycle, as they're sometimes called, that was built up over multiple generations, people writing about it in different places, some of the most famous writings coming from France, fair to say. So again, I do wonder what particular sonic representations of the king, queen, and castle will come across in that tune, so I'll look forward to that. Let me know what you think of this, and I will see you then. Peace.